Hello, my name is Lin Nguyen, and I chose to do my presentation on the works of Frank Lloyd Wright. Frank Lloyd Wright was born on June 8, 1867 in Richland Center, Wisconsin, and passed away on April 9, 1959. Wright is considered as one of the most important architects that have ever lived. Wright's prairie and Usonian style, with modern techniques, proved that he had an amazing understanding of space, structure, materials, and cultural values. Wright founded his own firm and developed a style known as prairie, which led to organic architecture. So let's take a look at some of his residential works. One of them is the Falling Water. Beautifully built atop a waterfall, Wright's Falling Water residence is his most celebrated work and is arguably one of the most famous modern houses in the United States. Wright believed that houses should be unified wholes that merge into their natural setting. Knowing that his clients were true nature lovers, he decided to build a home in Bear Run, Pennsylvania in 1935 that recognized the beautiful aspects that nature offered, but also commemorate the beautiful landscape. He said that he wanted his clients to live with the waterfall as an integral part of their lives. Wright's love for Japanese architecture inspired Falling Water because he was eager to create a bond between man and nature. As you can see on the left photo, his designs included sandstone cantilevered terraces and balconies that floated above the waterfall, continuous and open spaces, glass walls, and stairs that descended down to the stream. Although his works prior to Falling Water illustrated open-plan living styles, Falling Water was the house that made people realize that he was indeed the inventor of open plans. Another one of his famous houses is the Frederick C. Roby House. Frederick C. Roby House is a historic landmark located on the campus of University of Chicago. Finished in 1910, the entire house transformed and redefined American housing. Take a look at the left photo. Just like how an artwork has a story or meaning, Wright did not want to clearly distinguish the entrance. He wanted his audience to be able to go towards the house feeling like it's a journey. The house included stained glass windows that usually represented nature. Wright wanted just enough light to cave in, but not too much where the public can see through. He once said, "Now the outside may come inside, and the inside may and does go outside." The decorative floors and ceilings, along with the elongated roof, made the house appear longer and more open. Brick with yellow mortar covered the entire house. The Roby House is considered the ideal modern prairie home because of the warm, well-lit interior spaces, personally designed furniture, and the harmonious horizontal patterns. Moving along to his public buildings, the Solomon Guggenheim Museum is his most famous. Among the must-see destinations in New York, Wright's Solomon Guggenheim Museum on Fifth Avenue makes it on the list. Wright designed many houses, but his public buildings were the most innovative and recognized. At the age of 88, Wright designed the Guggenheim Museum in New York, which is considered to be one of the best examples of organic architecture. Wright was first introduced in designing the new museum during the Second World War. The museum acts almost like a white strip that curls upward and grows continuously wider as it spirals up towards the glass ceiling. Originally, Wright was not able to obtain a building permit during the war and had many decisions with the building department because all structural requirements must be met. The entire building took a long period of time since no one ever saw or considered spiraled ramps. It was finalized in 1956. Although the design is memorable, in contrast with the rectangular Manhattan buildings, the critiques as a washing machine and a giant toilet bowl are true. Since the floor slopes, space does not flow well, which disables paintings and sculptures. The design was breathtaking, but in terms of functionality, it was not perfectly executed. Lastly, his other renowned building is the S.C. Johnson Wax Administration Building, located in Racine, Wisconsin. Finalized in 1939, S.C. Johnson Wax Administration Building is one of Wright's higher statement buildings because it took commercial structures to the next level. He intended on making this an inspiring place to work. Wright used Pyrex tubes instead of glass because it diffused light to enter the interior spaces, and the dead air inside of each tube helped keep the building insulated from the bipolar climates. The workspace is well lit with indirect light. This method of design saves a ton of electricity and is environmentally friendly. He also used cork under the balcony, which helps reduce the noise from the workroom. The mushroom-shaped columns, known as dendriforms, are evenly distributed throughout the workroom and parking space. They are not just for aesthetics, but also for support. The columns were designed to support more than 60 tons of weight. This building shows that Frank is able to incorporate many materials into his design. Last but not least, this is Wright's interview with Mike Wallace. He spoke about architecture but ultimately shared his thoughts on social criticism and the principles that guided him through life. Below is the URL for the full interview. I included a works cited page of all of the sources that I used. The images were all found on Google. Thanks for listening, and I hope you learned some things about Frank Lloyd Wright.